hear any peacocks in Mayapur. You used to hear peacock in Mayapur. Some bird. And the microphone is not yes. Hare Krishna. Curtains. Curtain. Yeah, that one. Yes. Okay. This light in the back, maybe close. Too many lights. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Jaya Gopidana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopidana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajadanarandana Yashodanandana Brajadanarandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Jaya Gopidana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopidana Vallabha Yashodanandana Brajadanarandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe, Radha Madhava Radha Madhava. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Gaura Simanandi, Dayam Shupada Paramahamsa, Pri Vrajagacharya Stotra Satya Sri Simar, His Divine Grace, Shilabai Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki, Iskandi BT, Founder Charya Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, Samavata Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Harinam Sankirtan Ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki, Jainitai Gauda Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhuktale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavam Syam Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Paritana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sivishakanditam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kancana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayana Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Presabhadrishu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, it becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Utamashloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nisriya Sayalokasya Dhanyam Swasyaya Namaha. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Surabhyaya Namaha. Om Surabhyaya Namaha. Om Surabhyaya Namaha. Mukam karoti vacharam pangum langayate girim yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Bhagavatam class. Continuing from Canto number 2, Chapter 1, the first step in God realization, and we are nearing the end of the chapter. with maybe 5-6 verses left. Today we're reading text number 33. Yes. Yes. So 34, which does not have any purport, and 35 also has no purport. So we will read 36, which does have a purport. And yeah, so text 36. Vayamsi tad vyakaranam vichitram manur manisha manujo nivasaha gandharva vidyadhara sharanapsaraha swara smritir asuranika viryaha vayamsi tadvyakaranam vichitram Vayamsi tadvyakaranam vichitram manur manisha manujo nivasaha gandharva vidyadhara charanapsaraha swara smritira suranaki viryaha Vayamsi tadvyakaranam vichitram manur manisha manujo nivasaha gandharva vidyadhara charanapsara swara smritir asuranika viryaha Vayamsi tadvyakaranam vichitram manur manisha manujo nivasaha gandharva vidyadhara charanapsaraha swara smritir asuranika swara smritir asuranika viryaha Vayamsi tadvyakaranam vichitram manur manisha manujo nivasaha gandharva vidyadhara charanapsaraha Sarasmitirasuraniika viryaha Vayamsi tadvyakaranam vichitram manur manisha manujo nivasaha gandharva vidyadhara charanapsaraha swara smitirasuraniika viryaha Vayamsi tadvyakaranam vichitram. Manur Manisha Manujo Nivasaha Gandharva Vidyadhara Charanapsaraha Swara Smitira Suranati Viryaha. Vayamsi, varieties of birds. Tat vyakaranam, vocables. Vichitram, artistic. Manuhu, the father of mankind. Manisha, thoughts. Manujaha, mankind. The sons of Manu. Nivasaha, residence. Gandharva, the human beings named Gandharvas. Vidyadhara, the Vidyadharas. Charana, the Charanas. Apsaraha, the angels. Swara, musical rhythm. Smritihi, remembrance. Asura Anika, the demoniac soldiers. Viryaha, prowess. So before reading this translation, we will go back to our two verses that don't have a purport, which are 34 and 35. So text 34, Ishasya keshan vidur ambuvaham vasastu sandhyam kuru varya bhumnaha avyaktam ahur ridayam manascha sachandrama sarva vicha vikara koshaha. Translation. O best among the Kurus. This is Shukadeva Goswami addressing Parikshit Maharaj. O best among the Kurus, the clouds which carry water are the hairs on his head. The terminations of days or nights are his dress. The terminations of days or nights. That means sunset and sunrise. We see people sometimes, I've seen in Indonesia, I'm sure in different countries, people go to some particular spot, maybe in some mountain area, where there's a beautiful sunrise or a beautiful sunset. In Shimoga. Yeah, Agumbe. Yeah, different places. In Indonesia, also people they will, even though it's very early, they have to be there because many people go. They have to wear some, because it's very cold also, mountain area, but people they go because, and they wait for an hour. When is the sun coming up? Then slowly, because every single second before the sun rises and after the sun rises, and when the sun sets, before the sun sets and when the sun sets, all wonderful display of colors and shades. And so here this very nicely mentioned how the terminations of the days or nights are his dress. It's like people put on different dress every, different days. And the supreme cause of material creation, the supreme cause of material creation is his intelligence. Who can think of creating? Who can create someone with super intelligence? Much more than AI also. Much more than artificial intelligence. This is real intelligence. AI is now becoming very prominent. His mind is a moon. Again. Before, eye and sun are his eyes. His mind is the moon, the reservoir of all changes. Just like our mind is constantly changing. So that was text 34. And text 35. Vijnana Shaktim Mahim Amananti Sarvatmanonta Karanam Giritram Ashvasvataryutstra Gaja Nakani Sarve Mriga Pashava Sroni Deshe. The principle of matter, Mahatattva, is the consciousness of the omnipresent Lord, as asserted by the experts. And Rudradev is his ego. Horse, mule, camel, and elephant are his nails. And wild animals and all quadrupeds are situated in the belt zone of the Lord. Prabhupada didn't comment on that. So today's text, 36, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Varieties of birds are indications of his masterful artistic sense, isn't it? In the early morning, there are people, they're called bird watchers, right? And other people are called bird listeners. Like in our Parashuram Gurukula, in the morning, before the sun rises, you can start hearing the chirping of the birds. The chirping of the birds is very enchanting, it's very attractive, very pleasing. Now in cities, people don't hear birds. They hear maybe on television, on the radio. Or if they have a cage, they've captured a bird maybe and put it in the cage. But natural birds, mostly they have crows. Black crows. They're just looking for the garbage. Black crows. And their sound is not very attractive. So this is very nicely mentioned here, how varieties of birds and the sounds are indication of his masterful artistic sense. Manu, the father of mankind, is the emblem of his standard intelligence. And humanity is his residence. Humanity is his residence. The celestial species of human beings, like the Gandharvas, Vidyadharas, Charanas, and angels. It's not only in Christianity that we find angels. They are in the pages of the Bhagavatam. Angels. It is said that we have, in Christianity, they teach you that everyone has a personal angel supervising. And some people in modern day society, some people are promoting you should get in touch with your guardian angel. Your angel is guarding over you. Of course, we know a super soul is there, guarding over all of us. All of these celestial species also represent his musical rhythm, and the demoniac soldiers are representations of his wonderful prowess. There is a purport. The aesthetic sense of the Lord is manifested in the artistic, colorful creation of varieties of birds like the peacock, parrot, and cuckoo. That's why in Vrindavan, very nicely described how Srimati Radharani has her own parrot. There are so many parrots. They are messengers. They are used as messengers to deliver. No Wi-Fi, no internet. That is the natural internet communication. Parrots, we know parrots, they can be taught to speak. So they would give different message, and they would give secret messages that would go from one side of Vrindavan to the other side, different places. And peacocks, parrots, very colorful, as we know also. When the male peacock puts up his plumage, his feathers, very enchanting. The celestial species of human beings. So we are not alone. Human species are not only on this planet, they're in the celestial spheres. The celestial species of human beings, like the Gandharvas and Vidyadharas, can sing wonderfully and can entice even the minds of the heavenly demigods. Music, songs, musical instruments. They are the Gandharvas are masters in music. That's why Narada Muni was previously Gandharva, we hear from Bhagavatam. And that's why he is a master at playing his veena. Their musical rhythm represents the musical sense of the Lord. God is a person, Krishna is a person, and he has, actually Prabhupada had a very developed musical sense also. One person who was knowledgeable about music, after hearing Prabhupada's singing and his chanting of mantras, he made this kind of remark that this person is like, he's perfect in reciting or chanting. Yeah. We hear Prabhupada's bhajans. So then, naturally, how then can he be impersonal? His musical taste, artistic sense, and standard intelligence, which is never fallible, are different signs of his supreme personality. The Manu Samhita is a standard law book for humanity, and every human being is advised to follow this great book of social knowledge. It has been banned in India. Manu Samhita.
Banned, but people are against with them. Like the government has and different cultured people have teach them.
Cultured people.
Means like a lower type of people. They say that it teaches something bad about the humanity. So like that.
See, people tell different things about the Manu Samhita without knowing or understanding that actually this is an established fact. This has been also confirmed by some of our acharyas, like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and others, who point out that some of our Vedic literatures have been tampered with, or changed, or manipulated, you see, number one. Secondly, one cannot properly understand Shastra unless one receives this knowledge through Guru Parampara, you see. So we may not be able to, especially if one is not taking up to the practice or the process of spiritual life, in particular bhakti or devotional service, one will not be able to understand so easily so many things, because the mind is not properly purified, and because one is not receiving this with a proper understanding. The standard example given by Srila Prabhupada that about a cow dung, stool of an animal is considered impure. If we come in contact, then we become contaminated. Yet, the cow dung is, which is also the stool of an animal, is used in deity worship, is used to install deities. It's one of the 5 ingredients. Milk, yogurt, ghee, cow dung, and cow urine. These 5 ingredients are essential in deity worship. They are essential in installing deities and performing installation of deities. So that's a contradiction. On the one side, one becomes contaminated, then on the other side, it is like we know, not only from Shastra but also from science, that it is having all of the medicinal ingredients, isn't it, or characteristics. And sadhus in India to this day, especially in the Himalaya mountains, they take their daily bath with cow dung, with fresh cow dung. And what happens when someone dies? they clean the body with cow dung. Isn't it? They clean the body with cow dung. So this is contradictory. From a purely material point of view, doesn't make any sense. But it is not contradictory. So in the Manu Samhita, one has to approach the teachings of Manu Samhita in the proper way, and one has to understand what might have been manipulated. But here, Prabhupada is making a very clear statement that the Manu Samhita, you do one thing, you get me the second canto. Quickly. Second canto, part 1.
Oh, part 1.
Yeah, the second canto has, I think, 2 books, right?
This is not part 1.
Huh?
This is not part 1.
This is not?
This is not part
1. No, this different edition.
Achha, new one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Quickly. Second canto. Prabhu, you put them all in order there. So, Canto 2, Part 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Canto 2.
Second canto only one.
Yes.
Oh, 1 volume. Okay.
That is 2.
Okay. Yes. So, this is chapter 1, and we will see here verse, yeah, can sit down, it's okay. The first step in God realization, and the text 36, just coming up here, 31, 35, and 36. Yes. The Manu Samhita is a standard law book for humanity, and every human being is advised to follow this great book of social knowledge. Yeah, because in the Manu Samhita is what we refer to as Dharma Shastra. Dharma Shastra are meant to be serving as a guideline. The whole system of Varna and Asrama, Varnasrama, is explained, presented through the Dharma Shastras. But that has to be received from the right sources in order to be properly understood. And then Prabhupada continues here in the purport, human society is the residential quarters of the Lord. And Prabhupada explains, this means that the human being is meant for God realization and association with God. Yeah, this means that the human form of life is especially meant for self-realization. This life is a chance for the conditioned soul to regain his eternal God consciousness and thus fulfill the mission of life. Maharaj Prahlad is the right type of representative of the Lord in the family of Asuras. None of the living beings is away from the Lord's gigantic body. Each and every one has a particular duty in relation to the Supreme Body. Disruption in the matter of discharging the specific duty assigned to each and every living being is the cause of disharmony between one living being and another. This is important. When we are failing to discharge our proper duties and responsibilities as human beings, then this causes disharmony between one being and another. But when the relation is reestablished in relation with the Supreme Lord, proper relation can only be properly established if it is in relation with the Lord, then there is complete unity between all living beings, even up to the limit of the wild animals and human society. So when there is proper unity, proper relationship established within human society, then there will be proper relationship established within between humans and other living entities as well. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed this living unity in the jungle of Madhya Pradesh, where even the tigers, elephants, and many other ferocious animals perfectly cooperated in glorifying the Supreme Lord. This is the way to peace and amity all over the world. So, yes. That was. Yes. 37, 38, 39. 39 is the last verse for this. Okay, so just reading again this very nice description of text 36. Varieties of birds are indications of his masterful artistic sense. Manu, the father of mankind, is the emblem of his standard intelligence, and humanity is his residence. The celestial species of human beings, like the Gandharvas, Vidyadharas, Chalanas, and angels, all represent his musical rhythm, and the demoniac soldiers are representations of his wonderful prowess. Comments or questions? Yes.
This is imagination, right? Who cannot really appreciate the form of the Lord Syamasundara form. This Vishwarupa is imagination. Really is it imagination or further?
So you're saying in one breath, this is imagination. Is this imagination?
Because everything is Lord, right? Everything is really.
Everything is the Lord, yes.
How it is an imagination for them?
It means this, like the material world is reality, but is not. It's a reflection of the real thing, isn't it? The whole cosmic manifestation is not the original. It's a reflection of the original. This body that we have is a reflection of the original spiritual form. The dealings and relationships that we have in the material world on the bodily platform are a reflection of original feelings, original sentiments, original relationships that exist in the spiritual world. It is like the reflection of the tree in the lake. It's upside down. So the real tree is there. The real relationships are there. The real happiness is there, but in the spiritual world. The example given also by the acharyas, that in the desert there's water. We see water. Actually, there's no water. We see water. Water is real, but not in the desert. We perceive. And animals, they run after water in the desert until they die. So that comparison is to explain how, in a very similar way, people are after this, what is called phantasmagoria, of the allurements in the material world, which never bring, just like in the desert, one cannot quench his thirst by this mirage. It's a mirage. Yeah. So the description is meant to help us at least begin from a material point of view, thinking of because all of these things are there in the spiritual world. Music, what is displayed in the celestial, in the heavenly planets. If it is like in Gandharva Loka, where music and art is very developed, that's still within the material world. So how it must be in the spiritual realm, in the spiritual world, even much more developed, much more refined. Yeah. Jai Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Gauda Premanande.
But Prabhupada writes that who practice Krishna consciousness, for them it is all